Minister, sir. We said that I was telling you this morning, last night we were here at 9 p.m. A woman delivered 9 p.m. Before I could get to my house around 11:30, they called me another woman has delivered. This morning when I came, one woman delivered around 9. As we are going to pick in the airport, twins. A woman delivered twins. And the most important thing that the woman that delivers twins is a keep operation. You know, a lot of things that surrounds it. So we have just not built a hospital. We have equipped the hospital with human resources for help that could be able to take a keep operation, twin gestation with surrounding complications. They are all here. And one of the women said that as long as it's a male, that is going to be alipate. So you have alipate here. And the woman that delivered yesterday said that the name of the daughter is going to be Nonye. So they have all the women here. So most important thing in this, we have not just built hospital, because buildings does not make hospital. Mr. Governor employed people here. We have 2 consultants, consultant obstetric and gynecologist and consultant pediatrician. With this area, we are sure that we are going to take care of complications. Then we also have medical, I will not talk much, Honorable Minister. Mr. Governor did not just only consult his hospital. If you go and look there, you saw an ambulance system well equipped that he has built. This also key into the state national emergency medical service and ambulance system that we are championing. And I'm sure you will say, give us the credit that we are the first state that started emergency medical ambulance system in the country. That's the state. And finally, Mr. Governor, I want to say this. Mr. Governor, Honorable Minister, sir, 6 months ago, the Commissioner for Health did what we call know your number, maintain your number. I want to tell you categorically, I gave the idea then because Mr. Governor did that 2 years ago in Anambra State. We are the first state we did what we call solution, know your number and maintain your number. We did free diabetes, hypertension, and cholesterol level to dictate the non-communicable disease threat in the state. And that is one of the major things I know you are working to. And also the Mr. Governor has done that 2 years ago, and we are still working on that. So we are happy Anambra State is your home, and we will continue to work together. Thank you so much, Mr. Governor. I'm so excited, Mr. Governor, we are seeing this happen today, because initially it didn't look quite possible. But with you, Mr. Governor, he always tells us that as long as you can dream it, it can happen. And today it had happened. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Governor. There's something you didn't mention. Honorable Minister, there's something you didn't mention completely. He said that there's something they have here. They have what they call flag off of free surgery for people with scrotal swelling due to hydrocele. In this place we call it. So they do it here, and they're going to flag it off. And they flag off also the new whole program for people with elephantiasis. That is what we call it here. Those big legs, they flag it off here today. So ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, let me invite that man that once you see him, we call him Oluwatogu. It means no work scares him. He doesn't tell what the work is. Just tell him, and he will tell you, I will do it, and he will do it. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Professor Chukwuma, Charles Soludo, CFR, Mr. Solution.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you.
Hi, Okpoko. Okpoko, bueno. No Okpoko no kweba. No Okpoko never. May I not hear that one? No? Thank you. I know today is a very historic date. 3 years ago, actually, I was sworn in on the 17th of March. That was 3 years yesterday. The next day, the next morning, we started our work here in Okpoko. the biggest urban slum in the southeast, if not in the country. No roads, no water, no electricity, no hospital, nothing. But where you have more than 500,000 people, you haven't, Honorable Minister, you haven't seen anything yet. Igwe, Ayabia. That's the chairman of Anambra Traditional Rulers Council. Ezi Iweka, Ezobosi. And the chair, the deputy governor, the first lady, the speaker, Akajugo, Igwe Apuga, none. See him wearing our, you said that is the traditional ruler of Apuga. See his own cap. I want to welcome all of you who are joining us on this trip again. For me, it's a walking visit as usual. You can see how I'm dressed in my jeans and canvas and just ready to go and run because we have come here again on a walking visit. We've come to inspect the road. There are still ongoing projects, yet uncompleted. But we have also come to commission some completed ones. Because when we came, we didn't have water, isn't it? This hospital didn't, I'm sure you have water here. We have now water scheme. We're going to be commissioning one as well. You have roads, over 15 kilometers now completed and still many more ongoing. Street light, water scheme. Is that the dry bones will rise again. The dry bones will rise again. From the slum, over 500,000 people living in the most despicable urban squalor. Okpoko is gradually, you told us that it's no longer Okpoko, it's now New Heaven. Is that New Heaven? Is that New Heaven? Good. So, here we have come on a brief stop. We've just commissioned Mbuka Mazu Road. And then from here we commissioned this. We are going again to commission another set of roads before we end up at St. Luanga. Isn't that? I think that's where the Okpoko community is waiting to receive us. So we just cut the tape at these two places and we go to the place for the main event, as it were, where we'll say formal welcome to the Honorable Minister and to all of you. So, here today, I want to, in a special way, say congratulations to the women who have just delivered. New children, one of them, Alipate, another one, Nonye, and so on and so forth. So, the Honorable Minister, we are following in your leadership in this area of health. And I want to tell on the Anambra, the world, that here in the Honorable Minister, we have a world-class leader in this area of health. If we can't fix Nigeria's health sector with him in charge, then I don't know who or when. We appreciate your leadership, your emphasis on primary health, the secondary, the tertiary, paying attention to the entire ecosystem of our healthcare delivery. I will assure you, Honorable Minister, we are following very carefully. As you throw one step and tell us to run here, we'll bet you here in Anambra we'll run 5 ahead. Because we were very intentional about prioritizing healthcare. For us, human capital, particularly health and education, and caring for the vulnerables happen to be the fulcrum of our administration. Human capital is our -- is our biggest asset here in the state. And for us, if you miss it, you've missed everything. For education, here in Okpoko, we're building public education. Because we know that if you want to test the strength of any system, you go to the weakest link. The primary health is often the weakest link in the health care delivery. The public sector education is often the weakest link in our educational delivery. And we have prioritized this. And we are looking forward to that time so far now for 2023, 2024. There is this presidential challenge for schools, teachers, and so on and so forth. Anambra brought home some buses and vehicles from the presidency. And guess what? The best teacher in Nigeria for 2023-2024 happened to be teachers in Anambra's public school. Anambra's public school. Public education, and our dream is that someday children from the public schools will once again become the champions of the world. And here in Okpoko, our dream is that from the slum, people forgotten, and a lot of people know this as den of criminalities and so on, people forgotten with no skills, hustling day to day. As you've seen this hospital, we expect that in some months or even a year or so to come, we'll come back because we've seen the land. As we reclaim this place, we are reclaiming more. There will be the technical dream is that someday we will see children here hitherto forgotten rise up, attending public schools, and become the geniuses that will rule the world. That's our dream, from slum to the pinnacle of wealth and technology in the world. That's our dream for Okpoko. And we are laying the foundations very deliberately, in terms of their education, in terms of their health. We're now going to have the tech center, skill acquisition, skill enhancement, and tech center, and recreational facilities here in Okpoko. So, Ndi Okpoko, I can ekwe beans on amata barabins amata. Ona na nuku even ekwo. Amata barabins amata. My name again. So don't bother. We are coming. All those gully erosions that used to harass you and drown people every year, all over, they are over, and we are tackling them seriously. Thank you very much. I just want to cut it short and give the Honorable Minister maybe a minute to say hello to our people, and then we cut the tape. My wife says she wants to see those who have, the women who have just delivered. I hope we'll do that in 1 minute, and then we'll leave. Yeah.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Her Excellency, the First Lady, Her Royal Majesty, other leaders here in Anambra, my own elder brother, Sir Emeka Ofo, and other gentlemen, and the distinguished people of Okpoko, or I would say New Heaven. New Heaven. Good afternoon to you. I think I'm overwhelmed to see the amazing transformation of this area. I think I was here last year, and I learned about this work, and I'm very glad that you invited me to come and see the beginnings of a transformation, of a new era in this particular area. I would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency, for your amazing leadership, for your steadfastness, and for your focus on what matters to the people of Anambra State and the people of Okpoko. I think investing in health and education, the basis of any meaningful development, I think is the right thing to do. And that very much aligns, in my own view, with what my boss, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is also trying to do, to focus on the health and well-being of Nigerian people. And this is a good example. So congratulations, and congratulations to the people of Okpoko. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Very good. Thank you.
Sorry. Carry your wire.
Guys,
Ramo.
okay, well, yeah, back.
Yes, okay.
Yes, you hold it, you hold all of us.
Okay, I hereby commission this general hospital in Okpoko, New Haven. Citizens of Anambra. Very good.
Thank you. Tell them a few persons
Okay, we'll come back now. Let's come back a bit. Okay. Who is telling you to come back? Alex. Okay. Are they rolling any movie? Are they rolling? They come back. Is that what you said? Yes, Alex. They're supposed to.
A lasting legacy for generations to come.
Recently, the Anambra converged on the International Convention Center, ICC, Oka, for the signing of the Anambra Homeland Security Law and the official launch of Operation Udogachi, a comprehensive security initiative spearheaded by the Chief Security Officer of the state. There are key fundamentals of this operation. It includes deployment of patrol vehicles, ICT integration, and implementation of the Homeland Security Law. These initiatives by the state government are part of efforts to ensure a smooth and effective security operation in the state. This is Solution Footprint, and you're welcome to today's episode of the show. Today, we are going to highlight the governor's intervention in security in Anambra State. My name is Chidinma Oranwa. Join us.
In a world where security concerns looms large, the quest for peace and safety is paramount. Today, we delve into a transformative initiative launched by the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo CFR, a program designed to redefine security, peace and order, as well as foster communal trust. This is the story of Governor Soludo's security initiatives codenamed Operation Ubogachi. Chukwuma Soludo, sworn in alongside his deputy, Dr. Onyeka Chukwibezim, on March 17, 2022, met 8 local government areas, largely in Anambra South and North, under siege by non-state actors, commonly called unknown gunmen at that time. The local government areas include Agwata, Ihiala, Ekusigo, Newi North, Newi South, Orumba North, and Orumba South, and Obaru. There were palpable fare in the land, all manner of carnages, kidnapping for ransom, burning of police formations and local government offices, among others, were the order of the day. In fact, most political parties could not campaign freely in these mentioned areas during the last governorship election in Anambra State. In a nutshell, the situation could be best described as almost a war situation.
Besides the environment, a fundamental existential threat to our state and the Igbo land is that of peace building and law and order. We can't build this homeland by turning the sword against each other. The Anambra love their homeland, but the recent upsurge in criminality poses a great threat. Every criminal gang today, kidnappers, wicked murderers, arsonists, rapists, thieves, all now claim to be freedom fighters. Criminality cannot be sugar-coated. This must stop. Our government is determined to urgently restore peace and security in Anambra, and we will seek active collaboration and cooperation of all stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, to the politicians playing politics with insecurity, you are riding a tiger. The current trajectory is a road to desolation. Let us get around the table and talk. Let the elite in the closet come out and let's debate our future and forge a consensus. The conspiracy of silence by the elite and some of the community leaders must end. If you see something, say something, or do something. Securing Igbo land and Nigeria must be our collective responsibility.
In his usual proactive disposition, Governor Soludo, being the chief security officer of the state, embarked on correcting the dysfunctional security architecture in the state and liberated these local government areas, started with creating the Ministry of Homeland Affairs, which further strengthened the Anambra Vigilante Group. As at that time, apart from the initial appointment of a security advisor, the governor held the Security Summit, beefed up the Security Vigilante Group, and also put in place a joint security architecture, and the criminals were rooted out of their camps in the bushes. Inaugurated the Truth, Justice and Peace Commission, engaged with multiple stakeholder groups, offered to retrain and reintegrate those in the bush if only they would surrender their arms, among others. As a result, within 12 months, the inhabitants in most of the areas that were held hostage by hoodlums for many years heaved a sigh of relief, and many of them came back home for the 2023 Christmas festivities in droves without apprehension in many communities.
The situation of security in Anambra before the emergence of Professor Charles Chukwuma, the CFR, our governor, was such that the southern part of the state was difficult to do anything. What do I mean by difficult? Difficult in the sense that people could not move about freely. People were being kidnapped. We had situations where police stations were burned down. We had situations where military checkpoints were attacked. So people were practically living in a state of fear. But lo and behold, when we took office, he had his hands on the plow, straight up from inauguration. We had a closed-door security council meeting. I didn't have any doubt in my mind that he was going to be very decisive. But one clear thing I took away from the directive she gave promptly then was that he was going to set up a Ministry of Homeland Affairs, which was going to deal with the big picture, and which had a big picture of what we wanted to do in the area of security. I'm talking about what we wanted to do kinetically and non-kinetically. So for me, we started out taking the war to the enemies.
Over time, some of the criminal elements returned to some locations because the character and dynamics of criminality in the southeastern Nigeria, particularly in Anambra, had evolved and became hydra-headed. Kidnapping for ransom quickly became the most lucrative enterprise, better than drug trafficking or oil bunkering.
As a government, we take every life as sacred and treat every case of kidnapping seriously. I want to assure the Anambra that we are ready to once again take them head on, but this time we shall triple our efforts and expand the scope and depth of our operations, given the dynamic nature of the criminal enterprise.
Beside kidnapping and armed robbery, there are other related challenges which reinforce each other: cultism, drug epidemic, land grabbing, and touting, including idolatry, which gives the criminal element some form of illusional protection.
The various security agencies, the police, DSS, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Civil Defense, as well as our vigilante and other special forces, the MPLA is here, are working day and night to secure our state. We are facing 4 major challenges which reinforce each other: kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, drug epidemic, and touting. Add to these the resurgence of criminal idolatry, which offer the criminals a sense of invincibility, and hence their daredevil brutal activities. Our security agencies are confronting these crimes in some ways, but we will triple our efforts going forward.
Back to the drawing board, Governor Soludo's response thoughtfully, deliberately, and comprehensively involved both the kinetic and non-kinetic agenda. Following the sudden spike of insecurity in the state, Governor Soludo on January 18, 2025, launched Operation Udogachi in Anambra State to combat the rising crime rates and ensure the safety of people of Anambra State.
Security law and order will not be further to the attainment of our vision of a livable and prosperous homeland.
Massive revolution by our administration in all sectors, which are appreciated by Indian Anambra, must be cemented with a robust security system with zero tolerance for criminality. I want to assure you that despite the unique challenges of lucrative criminality adorned with deceptive ideology and propaganda, we are determined to fight criminality and ensure that Anambra becomes the safest state in Nigeria. The special operation we are launching today, Operation Udogachi, deployment of technology plus a gamut of other initiatives especially the massive support of the federal security agencies and the citizens' collective action, constitute a comprehensive and sustainable response. Earlier this morning, we had to cut the ribbon at where we had the vehicles that are being rolled out today that will go into the streets of Anambra.
The order of all civil servants to pledge and be ready, and we will do all in advance and other people in a very different way to ensure that our homeland is safe, is secure, all the time.
At the event, the Anambra State Homeland Security Bill was equally signed into law by the governor, as well as the unveiling of 200 security vehicles and other security gadgets distributed across the local government areas of the state.
In about 20 months before we assumed office in March 2022, another strain or variant of the criminal gang under the guise of separatist agitation emerged with command and control centers. They killed policemen and soldiers at checkpoints and collected their guns. They attacked and burnt down many police stations. Sadly, most stakeholders kept mute. They set up camps in bushes and forests and labeled themselves as, quote, liberators. Most people did not pay attention. Very few people cared to ask how these people with arms will be feeding from month to month, or year to year, or how they will be funding their operation. Finally, the chicken came home to roost.
The Anambra State Homeland Security Law 2025 establishes Agone Chamber, a structured state security outfit designed to complement and support existing law enforcement agencies in preventing crime, detecting criminal activities, preserving law and order across Anambra communities, local government and urban centers in the state. The law has defined roles and responsibilities for security supervisory committees at various levels to oversee operations and ensure compliance with legal and ethical standards, strict regulations against kidnapping, banditry, illicit drug trade, and the unlawful use of properties for criminal activities.
Here in Anambra, the new law, Homeland Security Law, our own vigilante service, is called Agone Chamber. It not only establishes the Agone Chamber, but also provides a framework for community and citizens' ownership and participation in the sustainable security and social re-engineering of our homeland. We invite you to read the new law carefully. It should be the handbook for every citizen and resident of Anambra State. It should be discussed in schools, in markets, in churches, communities, motor parks, and everywhere we gather, we should be discussing this new Homeland Security Law because it provides a handbook to making a beginning to reclaiming the soul of our homeland.
Clear mandate on landlords, property owners, and hospitality businesses to ensure due diligence in tenant and guest identification. Offenses and penalties to deter crime and enhance enforcement mechanisms, among others.
The law makes provision under Section 13 for the PG to make monthly reports to the mayor and also send a copy of the report to the State Security Supervisory Committee on what is happening in his environment. And this includes suspicious activities he has observed in the preceding month. This report must be submitted first week of every month. Another innovative aspect of that law is that under the law now, thanks Section 14, the landlord, any landlord who wants to let his premises or building to anybody has to obtain a valid identification card of that person, the person's means of livelihood, what he's doing, his place of work. That section also provides that if you're a hotelier and somebody is lodging into your hotel or lodgement or wherever so-called, you also obtain his ID card. That same section 14 also provides that there must be CCTV camera in every hotel. You know, it has its terms of imprisonment if you violate that law. And then the commissioner in charge of entertainment also has the power to withdraw your license if you fail to obey with these stringent rules that is obtainable in the law.
Because Governor Soludo understands the pivotal role of the traditional institutions in fighting crimes and restoring sanity in the society.
We need our communities to come strong. We need all the social structures that make us who we are to come on board. Everybody has something to do. And that takes me to the third part of the event today, and which is the inauguration of the State Traditional Rulers Council, an institutional mechanism for the chairmanship of the council. And that is provides for the council, the chair of the council, to be rotated among the 3 senatorial zones of Anambra. And I want to announce that in exercise of the powers under that law, I have the pleasure to announce that from today going forward, that the chairman of the Anambra, I've so appointed the chairman of the Anambra State Traditional Rulers Council in the person of Igwe Chidubem Iweka, as Iweka III. Igwe, as Iweka III,
the Igwe's cooperation and support were also needed to fight the war against criminalities.
I know that the governor had a joint task force of the different forces, federal forces and vigilante, who used to go directly to the bushes to strike them where they were, okay? And it was just lately in the past year or so that it slipped into something else, having kidnap gangs, different gangs of kidnappers, you know, running amok in the entire state, you know, picking people up and sometimes killing people. And I think that needed a strong attack by security forces, which precipitated into the formation of Agone Chemba Udogachi movement. I want to advise the backseat drivers who just sit down and criticize. It's a job for everybody.
Operation Udogachi, translated as Peace Shall Prevail, is not just a security operation. It is a call to collective action. The initiative emphasizes community involvement, communication, and collaboration between the government and the citizens.
For whistleblowers, anyone that gives us credible information that leads to the arrest of any kidnapper, will be paid a bounty. We will pay them. If you take us to this camp, give us information, point to the guy who is it, and we grab him and we interrogate and find out that it is true. We will pay you a bounty, we will pay you for the information, for your assistance, up to a maximum of 5 million, depending on
Operation Udogachi empowers citizens to become active participants in their own security. Through community patrols and neighborhood watch programs, the initiative bridges the gap between the public and law enforcement.
We thank God for launching this Operation Udogachi. And in Newusa today, Udonachi already. A matter of fact, it's a very common situation that